What do you build me up? Buttercup, baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and the worst of all.
What is going on, guys? We are at Dorney Park today for the first visit to Haunt this season. And so, Evie, are you ready for this visit? Woo! Oh yeah! What?
Not much.
Wow! Okay, so we just rode Possessed, and I rated a 10 out of 10. It was a good front seat ride on it. And so, Evie, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, it was good. I give it 10.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just got 2 rides on Revolution without getting off, and I'd rate 1 to 10 and 1 6 because I got the high side at the first time, and the second time Evie did. And so, Evie, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I'll give that first ride an 8, and the second ride I'll give it 10.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just rode Steel Force, and I'd rate it 10 out of 10. It was really good. We got a back row ride on it, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, it was good. The ejector I felt was really strong. Give it a 10.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just rode THUNDERHAWK, and I'd rate it an 8 out of 10. I didn't really feel any airtime on the first hill, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
I'll give it a good 7. It was side-palling a little bit, but other than that, it was alright.
Yeah. Okay, so we just rode Dominator Green, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, it was good. Give it a 10.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we just rode Dominator Red, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
Oh, I'll give it a 9.
Oh okay, yeah. So we just rode Demon Drop, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was a really good ride we had on it, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
Give it a 10.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just rode HYDRA, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I give it a 10.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just rode Meteor, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good, and so Evie, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was good. Give it a 10.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just rode Wave Swinger, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was a really good and funny ride we had on it, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
Give it a 10.
Okay, so we just rode TALON, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was a good ride we had on it. We were in row 7, and so Evie, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was a good ride. I thought it was fun. I give it a 10.
Okay, so we just rode Dodgem, and I'd rate it a 5 out of 10. Nobody knew how to drive on that one, and so Evie, what'd you think?
I give it a 5. It just, people were causing traffic jams. They didn't know where to go. It just wasn't that good.
Yeah. Okay, so we just rode Kaleidoscope, and I'd rate it 6.5 out of 10. The guy took a little bit, but it was still good. So Evie, what?
Yeah, I give it a 6. It took a little bit of dispatch, but other than that, was alright.
Yeah. Okay, so we just rode Ferris wheel, and I'd rate it a 7.5 out of 10. It was an okay ride on the Ferris wheel. We were able to get some good shots, but at one point they weren't stopping the ride at all for us to get shots. And so Evie, what'd you think of it?
I agree, give it a 7.
Yeah. Okay, so we just rode Zephyr, and I rated a 10 out of 10. It was really good, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
Oh,
okay, so we just rode Monster, and I definitely rated a 10 out of 10. This ride off Amy put it on a really good cycle, so we were able to get spins and ejector. So a shout out goes to Amy if you're watching this for putting it on whatever mode you put it on. And so Evie, what did you think of it?
Yeah, it was a good ride. I agree. That's the best ride I ever had on it. The ejector was crazy and the car was spinning the whole time. It was awesome. I'll give it a 10.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we just rode both Cedar Creek Flyers and Scrambler, and I'd rate them both. Well, I rate Cedar Creek Flyers a 7 and Scrambler a 10. That was a very fast ride on Scrambler we had, and Cedar Creek Flyers was just a good ride on it. And so Evie, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I agree. I give Cedar Creek Flyers a 7 and Scrambler we did have a good ride on it. Give it time.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just rode both the Whip and the Enterprise, and I'd rate both rides a 10 out of 10. They were both very good, and so Evie, what'd you think
Yeah,
about
give them both the sun.
Oh, okay, so we just rode Tilt-A-WHIRL, and I'd rate it an 8.5 out of 10. The car one wasn't as spinny as last time, and so Evie, what'd you think
Yeah, I
of it?
agree. I give it a 7. It just wasn't as spinny this time.
Yeah. Hi Jack, what's up? That's good, that's what I like to hear. Okay, so we just rode Music Express, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10, and Jack was right up on it once again. So Jack, if you're watching this, a shout out goes to you, and so Evie, what'd you think of it?
10.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we just rode both Sea Dragon and Talon, and I'd rate both rides a 10 out of 10. They were both very good, and Talon has especially warmed up clearly today because that second row ride we had on it today was really good. And so Evie, what'd you think of it?
Give him a 10.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just rode HYDRA, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good, and so Evie, what'd you think?
Yeah, I give it a 10. It was falling.
Oh yeah! Okay, so we just went through Enigma, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really cool. The strobe lights were so insane. And so, Evie, what'd you think?
Yeah, I give it a 10. Those strobe lights were absolutely insane. They got me confused at some points as to where to go because they were just that crazy. But yeah, give it a 10.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we just went through Necropolis, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good. And so, Evie, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I give it a 10. It was good.
Oh, yeah. So we just rode Steel Force, and I'd rate it a 9.5 out of 10. It was hauling, but, like, we waited a long time for it. And so, Evie, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I agree. I give it a 9. It was a really, really good ride. Definitely was hauling, but yeah, it would have been better if the weight was a little shorter.
Okay, so we just went through both Trick or Treat and the Lair, and I'd rate Trick or Treat a 5 out of 10. But the Lair I'd rate a 10 out of 10. The Lair was really good, but Trick or Treat there weren't really any scares. I mean, the scene was cool for that, but I felt like we were just walking through the whole thing. And so, Evie, what'd you think?
Yeah, I agree. I give Trick or Treat a 5. I felt like it was basically just a walk. It was definitely better in other years, and the Lair I give it a 10.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we just went through Cornstalkers, and I'd rate it a 7 out of 10. It was an alright haunt, and so Evie, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I agree. I give it a 7. It was alright. There weren't too many anchors. Wasn't that scary, but it was alright.
Yeah. Okay, so we just did Tourist Trap, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good, and it was another one of our favorite haunts of the night. And so, Evie, what'd you think of it?
I'll give it a 10. So far, it's the best house of the night. There were a lot of actors in there, and some pretty amazing stuff. But yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, so we just did Blood on the Bayou, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good, and so, Evie, what'd you think of it?
It had some pretty cool scenes in there. It's always a good haunt I like to go to, and yeah, it was good.
Oh, yeah!
Okay, so we just rode HYDRA, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. This was the first night ride we had on HYDRA since 2019. And
okay, yeah. So we just had our last ride of the night on Talon, and I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. It was really good. This was our first night ride on Talon since 2019, and we had our first night ride on HYDRA since 2019 too. And so, Evie, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I agree. It was a good ride on it.
Oh yeah, so this concludes this vlog from Dorney Park opening night of Haunt 2021. So make sure to reply to me your thoughts on this vlog, and make sure to stay tuned for more coming from me, Coaster Plus Music 19, and make sure to go check out my merch store on Bonfire. I have coffee mugs, short sleeve shirts, face masks, anything you could possibly want, so make sure to go check that out. I'll have a link in the description, and I will see you in the next